In 1949, a toy company known as the Lego Group began producing their plastic automatic binding bricks. While not an instant success, Lego caught on, and now, with over 400 million bricks produced over the past 5 decades, it's become one of the most successful and recognizable names in toys ever. Much later, Lego started producing sets based on popular franchises, and in the year 2000, they released the 703-piece Lego TIE Interceptor. And today, in honor of May the 4th, we will be checking out the Lego TIE Interceptor, here on Creed's Collection. Hey, may the 4th be with you, and welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection. Today we're taking a look at the TIE Interceptor by Lego from the year 2000. This is set number 7181. It has 703 pieces, and it's based on the Evil Empire's TIE Interceptor starfighter, first seen in the 1983 film Return of the Jedi. The TIE Interceptor is built by Sienar Fleet Systems and is far more deadly than a typical TIE fighter. Its 4 dagger points at the end of its solar panels make it far more aggressive looking, but it can also back it up, being a much faster and agile starfighter. It lacks shields and life support, but it's meant to overcome this through sheer speed and the firepower of its 4 wingtip laser cannons. And now that we know a bit more about the TIE Interceptor, let's take a closer look. We're going to start at the bottom with the most boring piece, the display stand, which is actually pretty cool. They included this sticker that you can put on once you finish building it, and it has all the information about the spaceship. If you'd like to read it, go ahead and pause now. Here at the top of the stand, the ship actually attaches, and these rivets keep it from sliding down over. I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the side here so you can get a better look. Now, right here you can see there's like this system, and it actually pivots. I'm not sure why there's a hinge here, but there is. So you can put it in 2 different positions. I guess they just wanted you to have options. I have to say, this is too far back, I think. I prefer it like this. I really like the design on this stand, from the sign to the giant cross pattern that it has. It makes it incredibly sturdy, and it's easy to display the toy on. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that right now. So I took the wings off so it's easier to show you. There's a hole here on the bottom, and you simply slide it down over this, and the 2 rivets stop it, and it's that simple. So there you go. And it's, like I said, very sturdy, as you can see. Now we're going to move on to the body and cockpit of the TIE fighter. So down here there are 2 more guns, and the front canopy here opens. There's actually a hinge here that allows you to open it, but a problem is that it will bang into the guns down here and knock them off. Now here on the side you have the rivets, and that's actually what attaches the wing. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. Here on the back you can see the twin ion engines, and they actually have flaps. So these flaps will, I guess, steer the ship. I just figured they'd fire independently, but I like these flaps. It's cool. And of course TIE stands for twin ion engine. Wait a minute. Creed, are you telling me that TIE stands for twin ion engine? Yeah, what do you think it stood for? I didn't think it stood for anything. I just figured it was because it looks like a bow tie. Well, wait a minute. You're a TIE fighter pilot. Didn't you receive any training? Well, yeah. I mean, if by training you mean I was shoved into the cockpit of a TIE fighter, told try not to crash and shoot the bad guy, then yeah, I got training. Well, that explains why the Empire lost. Anyway, now that we've covered the flaps and the engines, you can see here on the back there's a little bit of detail with this black piece and then these 2 circular pieces. And then here on the bottom, of course, we covered that's where it sits on the stand. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the inside of the canopy, which folds down like so. And like I said, it'll hit these guns down here on the bottom if you go too far. So we'll just go ahead and pop those off now so we don't have to worry about them. With those out of the way, we can fully open the canopy, and this is what it would look like if you're looking through it as a stormtrooper, or TIE fighter pilot rather. And right here is their control yoke, and if you look, you can see they have a tiny targeting computer like Luke. It's got the little grid and everything and the handles. Pretty cool. As we turn it around, you can see again the flight yoke actually folds up in front of the pilot once they're inside. And behind that, you can see that there is actually a bigger seat, and then an area actually for a Lego minifig if I had one. This makes me want to track down a Lego TIE Fighter pilot now to stick in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and close all this up and show you one of my minor gripes with the toy. And it has to do with the hinge system on the canopy. So I was always afraid that it would never stay closed if I opened it too much, and I was always shocked there was no piece up there for it to hook into. In my opinion, these hinges over time would kind of fall apart. Like, I've barely used this, and I think that because it hits the guns down here, they really should have put the hinge on the top instead. Then you could open it up. You wouldn't have to worry about it being loose and falling open or hitting the guns. Alright, now we're going to take a look at the wings, or at least one wing since they're identical. And as you can see, this thing is amazing. I really love the blue tubes here and just the overall blue and black color scheme. The grid here is nice. I just really like it. The blaster cannons on the end of the wings look really cool. There's a better look at them. And this blue tubing, as you can see, it's attached via these special little pieces. Here on the back part of the wing, you can see a lot more detail with this circular pattern. It's just very aesthetically pleasing, and I think these are more guns, but I'm not sure. Now right here, there's more hinges, so you can take the wings and actually straighten them out if you want to. I'm really not sure why you would ever want to do this, but the option is available. Alright, we'll fold them back, and now we're going to look at the bottom of the wing, and you can see there is the part where the rivets plug in right there. There's the two holes, and a better look at what I think are these guns and I guess exhaust ports right here. I mean, I'm not sure what else those would be. And now I'll show you how the wings attach. So it's as simple as you might think. You just take the rivets, line it up with the hole, and it snaps into place and locks in really well. Actually, you'd be pretty surprised how sturdy this is. Before we move forward, I wanted to show you, I do own the box still, so here's a look at the front of it. It's actually a huge box, and here's a look at the back as well. I also have the building instructions, but there's not much to them. It's the same art on the cover as at the front of the box, and it just shows you how to build it. And now for our He-Man size comparison. As you can see, while He-Man is too big to fit in the cockpit, he still is quite small compared to the Lego TIE Interceptor. This thing is a beast. It's really heavy, and people are usually shocked when they see how big it is in person. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Lego Star Wars TIE Interceptor Set 7181 by Lego from the year 2000. I've had this set stored away in a closet for several years, and it was pretty dusty, so cleaning it was not very fun. But I got it done and it looks great, so I'm going to put it back on display now. I had a lot of fun making this video as usual, and I hope you had a fantastic May the 4th. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday. So hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.